Hello and welcome. I'm Brett Dupree. I'm talking about my awesome health journey. Look at this shirt. This might be the last time I wear it. Yep. This shirt's going away. Goodbye, shirt. It is filled with dirtiness. That's what happens when you don't wear a bib at a seafood boil. Anyways, welcome to my awesome health journey. I am Brett Dupree, here to talk about my awesome health journey and share my dirty shirt with you because I love you. Today I'm talking about something that I realize has really helped me on this awesome health journey, as well as really take to intuitive eating really well, especially at the beginning when I was constantly failing. And I mean constantly failing. By constantly failing, it is buying copious amounts of food and eating them to the point where it caused me to gain like 40 pounds at the beginning of this journey, which wasn't the opposite of what I wanted because, my whole goal in starting this, as I said, was my last diet because I wanted to lose all the weight. But then I went the intuitive eating route because that's who I hired to work on my binge eating and the thing. But the thing that helped me through this was something I developed over the years, and that is a solution-orientated mindset. See, one of the ideas in personal growth that I do enjoy is that, generally speaking, of course, everything's a spectrum. One thing I don't like about personal growth, they like to put things in categories. You have to fit in a category, and no, that's not how life works. We're all spectrums of everything, honestly. And the idea is that you either have a solution-oriented mindset or a problem-oriented mindset. And what a problem-oriented mindset is when new information comes up or a desire for something comes up, your first thought is the problems that this is going to be. For instance, if my back hurt and I thought that I should join a gym, a problem-oriented mindset, or someone mentions you should join a gym, would be, my back hurts. I can't join a gym. It would be too hard for me to drive there with my hurt back. How would I afford it? I would have to change my budget. I'm poor enough as it is. I'm just doing paycheck to paycheck. How am I supposed to afford a gym? And then go on to all the reasons why it won't work. A solution-oriented mindset is one where I did during this process, even when I was depressed, because I was thinking about it. The problem-oriented mindset, solution-oriented mindset. I was thinking when I got depressed that I went problem-oriented, and that's why I got depressed. But then I thought about my depression, and even my thought process as I was finding it hard to do anything was like, what can I do to work on that depression? And that's when I got a therapist, because my solution, because I developed it over many years. I used to be a problem-oriented person, especially when I was 26. Honestly, the reason why I got into personal growth was because I was problem-oriented, because women didn't like me and I wanted to learn how to trick them into liking me. That's why I became who I am today, is because that's what I wanted when I was 26 and young and naive about the world. Women were something to be conquered and I wanted to learn how to conquer them. But luckily that drove me down the path of taking responsibility for my life and trying to become a better person, so a woman would want to be with me for who I am, because that sounds both easier and morally correct. Makes me feel like a better person if someone likes me for me. Anyway, that was a little thing, but developing that over the years allowed me to, think of how I hurt my back, and thinking to myself, well, I don't want my back to hurt. I should both lose weight, which I think I was already working on that with the intuitive eating. And another thing, when I started gaining the weight, I recognized the fact that for me to do this, for me to continue with this process, I need to develop long-term goals and not short-term goals. So that was my solution to dealing with the constant failure of buying Oreos and eating all the Oreos, buying cereal and eating all the cereal. I had to, for this to work, this is what I'm going to have to do. For this to work, this is what I'm going to have to do. And that is how my mindset works. For this to work, for me to go to my goal, What do I have to do? How do I have to think about it? What do I have to change within myself or my outside surroundings to reach what I want? And the purpose of a solution-oriented mindset is that you focus on how to reach your goals instead of why you can't reach your goals. And there's nothing wrong with having a problem-oriented mindset. This is there to protect yourself in your little shell, because that's why we have all these negative thoughts and behaviors. They're all there to protect ourselves based on trauma and negative things that happened in our past. I didn't want to get hurt anymore, so of course I developed a mindset to prevent myself to get hurt. But recognizing the fact that protecting myself to get hurt will not get me what I want, I finally worked on developing a mindset that works toward getting what I want in life. And to do that, I had to become solution-orientated. I had to think of solutions to my problems rather than the problems to my problems. And I think that's extremely important for me, at least, since this is my health journey, for me to get to the point where I am now, where I am much more aligned with my food choices for the first time I can think of, probably since I was 8 or 7, that food doesn't have as much hold on me, or I'm not thinking about it all the time, or I'm not feeling guilty because I ate too much or something like that, or eating constantly too much. I've never had this much time of solid eating. I've never had this much time of eating where I haven't felt ridiculously guilty and binged because of that. And I think that's great. And a lot of that is working on myself, but also having a solution-oriented mindset. This is the problem. How do I fix it? I didn't deal with breaking up with my girlfriend correctly. Okay, I recognize that now. Instead of thinking all the negative parts about that, I think, okay, what can I do to fix it now? What can I do to work on it now? I need to work on my emotions. I need to work on feeling my emotions. Apparently, I'm not as good at that as I thought. Let's get better at that. So if something happens in the future, you can deal with it better. And that's all it is. It's not that difficult, but it's difficult to switch around. It took me years to do so. I mean, if you could do it overnight, that'd be amazing. More power to you. But I think it's important. I guess this is like an advice part of my column. I don't really like doing this as much, but I think it would help you, and I'm talking to you individually, the person who's watching this, to develop a more solution-oriented mindset. Instead of thinking of the problems, think of the solutions. And you'll be moving towards more of getting what you want in life. And your life will be better. Recognize the fact that all the things you've done in your past are there to protect you from pain. And if you're not living the life you want, it's not doing it effectively, which it wasn't for me. Yes, I was protected from pain, but I was also protected from being close to people, to being close to a significant other, and that wasn't working for me. Now that I recognize that, which is also important, just be kind to yourself. Always be kind to yourself. Because honestly, most of us aren't assholes. Most of us are people trying to do our best with what we have. And we need to recognize that. You are doing the best with what you have. If you want better, you have to do better. You have to work and do the work to become a better version of yourself for you. As I work on becoming a better version of myself for me. Because that's the way I want to live. That's important to me. And if it's important to you, that's just a suggestion I have. To you individually. Anyway, this is going on kind of long. Love ya. I hope you get everything you want out of life. Because I think you deserve it.